Welcome back. You're watching Virginia This Morning live right here on CBS 6. Undoubtedly, COVID-19 has been stressful for so many of us. Fear and anxiety of what's next certainly is overwhelming many times for adults, but children can also be experiencing these emotions as well. In this segment, Bill talks with a mental toughness expert on this very topic. Here's what they had to share.
As adults, it's hard enough navigating through the COVID-19 pandemic, but imagine how our children and grandchildren must feel. It's now more important than ever to ensure their mental well-being. Our next guest is the author of the book, The Emotional Marine, 68 Mental Toughness and Emotional Intelligence Secrets to Make Anyone Instantly Like You. And boy, do we like him a lot. We welcome former United States Marine Eric Rittmeyer back to Virginia this morning to talk about a very important topic. Good to see you, sir.
Bill, likewise. I love you, brother. I love your show. You're my favorite, man.
You say that to all the hosts. All right, so listen, this is an important thing. And as you know, before I worked here on Virginia This Morning, had a long career in radio. And I remember back in 2001, we had social workers and psychologists and everybody on our show trying to help us how to talk to our kids about that. And it was so interesting because they're not just small adults, they're children. And they have certain things that they are able to sense and feel, and we got to help them get through situations. And COVID-19 is now the big topic.
It sure is. And what we have to realize, Bill, is our kids are extreme emotional detectives. They pick up on every little hyper action that we do, and we need to help our kids understand that every single feeling that they experience is okay. The feelings are just fine. It's how they respond to those feelings that's important. Our kids aren't really taught what I refer to as an emotional vocabulary. They're not taught how to express emotion, so they have to realize what they're feeling is okay, but it's how they respond to it that's important, especially in a scary time like we're in right now.
You talk a lot about mental toughness, and I'm guessing children aren't that tough. You say they have great instincts. How do we kind of get from one to the other?
Yeah, you know, that's the funny thing about this too, Bill, when it comes to mental toughness, because there's lots of misconceptions about that. You know, when I deliver my programs or when I speak to companies, they automatically think mental toughness means push-ups and jumping jacks and running 10 miles. But mental toughness in 2 words is just emotional control. It's the ability to acknowledge emotion and respond to that. We're not taught this in school. You and I went to school. I'm sure you didn't receive any training. I didn't receive any training. It wasn't until I was in the Marine Corps that I was taught about this whole mental toughness thing. But we really have to incorporate it into the school curriculum where kids start learning about emotions. It drives us all. We're emotional creatures. We feel first, think later. So it's important that we get some training on this.
So how to ask the right question based on age is the big one, isn't it?
It's all about mental capacity here. I mean, we don't need to teach our 5-year-old about quantum physics, but we need to talk on their level. And we also need to make them realize, this is important as well, Bill, we need to make them realize and help them to understand that their feelings are okay. We acknowledge their feelings. Let's talk through it. Let's let them ask us questions. Let's give them honest answers. But again, we don't have to start talking about high-level things. If they're just looking for basic answers, give them the answer, let them ask the follow-up questions.
You know, it's funny. I remember when my kids were small, my problem was, and you said let them ask the question, my problem, I don't know where you noticed, I kind of like to talk. And when I would start to see their eyes glaze over, I'm like, wait a minute, I've gone too far. What do you think? Or
Exactly.
They say, Dad, can we talk now?
Yeah, that's why you and I get along so well. Exactly. And that's the key. And I think as adults and as parents, and here's the other thing, Bill, as parents, we want to shelter our kids from pain. It's understandable. We don't want them to experience this. But what we need to do is let them experience them, guide them through it, because we're teaching them lifelong lessons right now that they're going to need when they get older. But it's our instinct to shelter them from that. We can't shelter them from every single ounce of pain.
All right, so one thing we always have to talk about is with kids is empathy and sharing sacrifices and how all of that ties together to make that small person a good adult. Tell us about that.
We sure do, yeah. And this is where it's important from the communication standpoint to get our kids to understand, hey, we're healthy in this house. Mommy and dad, you're healthy. Your brothers, your sisters, you're healthy. But what we're doing right now is we're trying to help other people that maybe might be a little more susceptible, like our grandparents, like Grammy and Poppy. What we're doing right now is we're trying to be safe. We're trying to be cautious because we want to protect others. It's a way to teach them that they can do these little contributions and have a big impact on other people so they can relate to what they're going through. Just because we're healthy and happy in this household, not everybody's in the same boat. Some people are sick. Some people aren't able to just pick up FaceTime and start messaging somebody. So it's teaching them that we're sacrificing for others.
You know, when we said we were going to have a tough Marine on, I didn't think we would hear about Grammy and Poppy, but we did. And good. Eric, great to talk to you as always, buddy.
Likewise, Bill. Take care. Thanks for having me again.
All right. For more information, we'll post a link on our show website by later today at WTVR.com/VTM. And all right.
I so enjoy hearing from Eric, Bill. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he always brings a very positive, but not just a positive. He's not Pollyanna. I mean, it's positive with some data and some insight into why you need to try to be positive, and it always works for me too. I mean, I love having him on.
I feel like I've said 5 times this morning. I read an article. Clearly, I'm doing. I read an article recently about positivity and this thing that we're calling toxic positivity, where we're continually we're going to upbeat our way out of the feelings that we're having. And the reason they call that toxic is because you want to allow yourself to feel these feelings. And children certainly feel them too. That's not a news flash, right? We're all experiencing these things. So his insights are really, really helpful in ways to get the conversation going and really acknowledging that there is something there too.
Yeah, because you can't have a positive day without having some negative days, or you wouldn't appreciate the positive day. And he's very good at kind of putting that all together and saying, okay, yeah, there are things wrong, but we're going to be okay, and get that message to the kids, and hopefully once you pound that into that brain enough, as adults, they'll follow through with that. And so great information from Eric. As always, we look forward to him every time he comes on.
We got some